Hello family, I hope you guys are healthy and safe and well. You know what I'm gonna say. If you guys are already not subscribed, pause this video and press subscribe down below. Along with that, hit the bell notifications link so you know when a new video is going live. Okay, so if you've been around any amount of time, you know that we occasionally do these influencer Q&As. Before we get into the questions from you all, I'm gonna do a quick intro to how I got started with this whole situation, and just a little bit about me. My name is JaLisaEVaughn, and I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Went to school in Syracuse, New York, studied information management and technology and graduated with that degree. I then was recruited by HP to come here to Dallas to work in one of their new orgs within HP. While doing that and working full-time corporate, I was also blogging and influencing on the side. When I moved here, I had a good amount of following, but not anything crazy, but I had no idea that this world even existed. So I would shoot things and just post on the side. I would shoot with Marika and just share the outfits just because I liked getting dressed. And I liked sharing encouraging words. And then I went to an event here in Dallas and someone was like, well, how much do you charge for a post? And I was like, charge? I don't charge anything. I didn't know that I could get paid. People send me free stuff here and there, but I don't charge anything. And this was back in 2016-ish, 2015, 2016. Influencing was not a thing. It didn't even have a name to it. People who were considered influencers were people who, we were just we were talked about. People were they're just, social media whores, or they just like to post and attention whores and whatever. Now it's a thing, and now everybody wants to be one. So it wasn't really a thing back then. So I kind of just figured it out and tried different things along the way. Again, I was working corporate and doing this on the side, and then eventually I started making more from this, from sponsored ads and things online than I was from my corporate job. So I was like, you know what, I think it's time. I prayed about it, I saved up some money. I'm gonna take the full leap doing this full time and see what that does for me. I had no idea where to start. I didn't have management, I didn't have any help, I didn't do it, I just had me and Marika taking pictures. Which, long story short, has turned into this. If you wanna learn more about that phase, you guys can go back in the videos, because there are literal days or vlogs from days where I'm nothing's come in. I don't know what's gonna happen. God, I don't know what you're doing. I know you told me to do this and to take the leap, but you're not pulling up like I thought you should. So there are good days, there are bad days, but you guys have seen the entire journey along the way, which has led us to this. I have taken you guys along this entire journey, figuring things out and pivoting as things change. And if you are an influencer, or if you do anything in this space, you know that things change regularly. So it's all about learning how to pivot and adjust to what the current trend is and to what the current climate is, algorithm is, while still remaining yourself. And I've just done just that. So wanted to answer some of you guys' questions on just this entire journey and just whatever. Bree, hit it.
What's the difference from when you started from where you are now?
I think the difference is, I think there are good and bad differences. Not bad, but good and indifferent differences. Like I said, influencing wasn't a thing back then. So the hard part about it back then was trying to convince people of what you're doing, or trying to get people to support you, because back then it was are you gonna get a real job? Are you gonna, that's not a real thing. So you had to really have a mind of your own and be I'm gonna do this and it's gonna pay off someday. What I'm feeling is what I'm feeling, and I know that what I'm feeling is right. So a lot of it was going against the grain of everybody else. Even my job, they were well, when that fails, we would love to have you back. And I'm no, I won't be back. But I think that's different. And then now it's you've been doing this for all these years, but now it's the cool thing to do. So you have all the new trends, and you have all the new people, and you have, different things that are happening, which is fine, because, there's money in it for all of us. But because it's now a thing, you have to really provide good value. You have to be able to pivot and do some of the trends, even if it's not like your thing. Like I loved YouTube videos, but on Instagram, I didn't really like posting videos back then. I liked shooting photos. I liked creating a scene and doing that whole thing. Like people literally are acting on TikTok. You know what I mean? I just like sharing like my boring monotone self and like sharing my life. But now it's like, if you're not doing the trending thing, if you're not dancing and doing all this stuff, you don't really get seen. So you have to learn how to pivot. So I've, you know, forced myself into adjusting and doing more videos, but finding a way to make it make sense for who I am, and not turning into something else or turning into somebody who's following all the trends just for the sake of going viral. And I think a lot of people do that now, you know, just trying to create viral content instead of just sharing where they are, what they're doing, who they are, even if it's mundane. Because I used to feel that way and I was like, I'm so boring, what would I share? But it's like people enjoy the realness part of it, and it's like, okay, maybe she doesn't have, you know, a big old production and exciting life every single day of her life. Some days are, some days we lay in here eating chips and popping pimples. Like, I don't know, like, it's like, I think it just, the entire climate has changed. Which also means, you know, the money is bigger. So, you know, you really gotta bring it. But a lot has changed from then, what is it, 2022, about to go into 2023, to when I started in 2016. So, you know, it's good and bad, but yeah.
What advice would you give an inspiring influencer?
Here in 2022, going into 2023, the advice I would give to an aspiring influencer is to just be yourself. I think there are so many people trying to fit so many different molds, and it's not really who they are. But on Instagram, and especially now that it's a video platform, you can see right through it. So you can see if you're doing something that's not really, you know, you, or that you're trying to be or do something that's not you. I would say just be and do, like, be who you are and do what you do, and your tribe will come. I would also say that you don't need to have a full production. Like, obviously I have a team, I have this, but I also have 2 kids and a husband. I've been doing this for a lot of years. I'm not new to this. So I want help in certain areas that I know take more, you know, it takes more energy than what I was able to give before. So I do have a full team, but you do not need that to get started. You know, so you don't need a big expensive camera. A lot of my content, if you scroll back, and even today, a lot of my content is filmed on the phone. A lot of my reels are on my phone. We use cameras for the sake of not, you know, storing up all the, or we use cameras for the sake of not clouding our storage up in our phone. Because the reality is iPhones now are just as good as the cameras that, Zuri, iPhones now are just as good as the cameras that we be getting, for the most part.
Well, that goes into the next question. What cameras and equipment do you use or would you recommend?
So I would say that it's okay to start with your phone. It's okay to film videos and do things on your phone. You don't have to have the equipment. I had the Sony a5100, which was amazing for vlogging. Harper dropped it, so I had to get a new one. So now I have the Canon G7X, which I also love. I would have gotten a Sony again, but just for the sake of, I had to buy a new camera anyway, I was like, let me try something different. I have the Canon 5D Mark IV as like my big hefty camera, with a Sigma lens, and I'll put that down in the description as well. But if you guys are looking for camera tips and things, Marika also has really good videos sharing her full equipment roster on her YouTube channel, so I'll link that video below as well, because everything that I have was recommendations from her. But you don't have to have this fancy equipment. Bree, what are you filming with right now?
The Canon R5. But again, she just said you don't have to have the
equipment. We get it just so we can play around with stuff and like learn different things. But you don't need that to start. I also would recommend not a standard ring light. I love the Glamcore light because you can adjust the temperature. You can make it cooler, make it warmer. And you can, you know, heighten the intensity or dim it down. It's also easier to travel with than a ring light, in my opinion. I haven't worked with them. I've just had this light, and it has a foam clip and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of the light that a lot of people who do lashes and makeup and all that kind of stuff, they use. But that's the lighting I would recommend. Bree has fancier lighting, but I just, you know, whatever she
Their
thinks.
panel lights out. You can add her Amazon store.
She'll link it down below too. But again, you don't need that stuff. I get edgy when we have to use lighting because I prefer natural lighting. So even just me being in the business this long, I really don't like using lights if we don't have to. Just because I feel like natural lighting feels better and feels more natural. So yeah.
Who's on your team?
So I have Shayma, who is my influencer project manager. Shayma is the correspondence between me and everybody. So like she's like the bottleneck to all the different moving pieces. She started off as my assistant and kind of morphed into basically managing the entire business once I realized how many moving pieces that a business or that an influencer could have. So with me having 2 kids and a husband, and with me wanting to prioritize myself, like I don't want to have to text the 20 people that we have to text every single day for like scheduling, and my management who has briefs and with questions and things like that about campaigns and contracts, and is she interested in this, and this brand said this, and all that kind of stuff. So Shayma is kind of like the bottleneck to the moving pieces. So she takes care of scheduling whatever we need for whatever that is. She also takes care of packaging up the content to send to the brand. So we don't just send a caption and a photo. We have a folder that has labels of what brand it is, the ask, all that kind of stuff. And then with the agency, she corresponds if they want edits to different things, or if, you know, we fumbled a brief and they asked that this was this color and we did the color that, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So for all of the like nitpicky stuff that you actually have to pay attention to that I would miss otherwise, she does that. I have Bree, who does anything video editing related. She does that. Bree also will like look at the briefs and stuff. And especially being that now the majority of the content that's wanted are videos, I was like, I need to hire a full-time video editor. Like I need to hire somebody who can do this because that's really all the brands want. And she has the eye for video. Me, I would just be like, could you just get this clip real quick and do X, Y, Z, and it probably wouldn't perform as well. So Bree started off as my video editor for YouTube and things. And now she's on the full team as like, anything video related is me. But she still kind of helps out with everything, if that makes sense. Everybody kind of does everything at the same time, but everyone does have dedicated tasks, if that makes sense. So like you're in charge of this, but like if we need you here or here or whatever, we do that too. I have Jan, who takes care of a lot of the admin work and also all of the written copy. So on the team, she does all of the written copy. She also runs Lux House from start to finish of everything logistics wise, working with the vendors, working with Shopify and all that kind of stuff. She handles all of that. But she also helps on this side with copy and written work and also communicating with the agency. Marika does photos. Nia, she does linking. So a large portion of a lot of influencers' income is due to the links and things that we like, the value that we provide to you guys link wise. So she does all the graphics and posting to stories for like the different links that you guys want, or even if you guys ask me in a DM, I text her the screenshot of the DM and say, can you send me the link with this, with the affiliate connected to it so that we can get the kickback. So she does all of that, gift guides, collages, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there are a ton of other people that we contract with, and even just with like hair, makeup, events, just, it's a thing. But right now that's who's on the team for like the everyday stuff.
So explain a campaign from start to finish.
Okay, so my brand, my agency, who manages all of my campaigns from deal to end. I don't have anything that I do on my own. So even if I get an email for a brand that wants to work with me, I forward it to my agency so that they can do all the legal work and the negotiations and all that kind of stuff. I don't take care of that. So when there's a brand who has a firm offer of, we will pay JaLisa to do X, Y, Z, this is what we want her to promote, they will usually text Shayma and say, is brand XYZ of interest to JaLisa. We have an offer, we'll send it via email. We get an offer or email that says offer in. And it says, this is the rate, this is the scope, this is what they want you to promote. This is the exclusivity and like brands that you cannot talk about during this period of time because they're paying for, literally, they're paying for ad usage on your page for that amount of time. So if they want me to not, if it's Walmart and they don't want me to work with Target or Amazon or whatever, they have to pay those specific month per month for me to not talk about those brands. Cooper. So yeah, so they put all of the details in an email. I say yes or no, we can move forward, we don't, can you go back with a different rate, blah, 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 whatever I say. Yes, I'll work with this brand, love this campaign, love this brand. They then send us the legal agreement for me to sign contracts and do things. They send us the brief, we get the brief, yes sir, we get the brief and we decide whatever concept that we want. So nowadays brands want concepts. Back then they did not want concepts, they didn't care. They want concepts of what you're going to shoot, how you're gonna do it, what are you gonna say, all that kind of stuff before you actually shoot it, because this also avoids the chance of a reshoot. Cooper now. This avoids the chance of a reshoot because if they have an idea of what you're doing, they can say, actually no, can you take this angle, can you do this? So we'll send the concept, they'll approve the concept. We then schedule it on our docket of shoots for that day because I only shoot 1 or 2 days a week typically. So we usually do 1 or 2 days a week. So we'll add it to that list. If they don't get it to us by that shoot, it is not being shot until the next week. In my agency, that's something that before even signing, I told them I shoot 1 day a week. So if we don't have approvals, if we don't have the product in our hand, it will not be being shot until the following week, no matter what they say. And I think that's just because a lot of brands will be like, well, could she just squeeze it in and do this? And then it's like, now I have a full production from Monday to Friday, and that's not a thing with kids. And just, you have to give people boundaries. You have to give brands boundaries as much as you have to give people boundaries. Go home. So, where did I leave off at? We put it on a docket to shoot. We shoot the content. Oftentimes when we shoot, we'll have the briefs open. What do they want? What do they not want? Everybody, please look at the brief so that if somebody's eye misses something, somebody else will catch it. So we shoot it. We package it up. Jan will do the copy. Brie will do the video edits. Shema will make the folder and do all whatever. Shema will then send it to the agency. They'll review it, make sure that we have everything that we were supposed to include. They'll send it to the brand. The brand will come back and say, well, can she tweak this copy? Can she say it this way? Legally, we're not able to word it this way, so can we change it? And then they'll give us, or they'll ask us, when can we go live? I only like ads going on during the weekday because this is my job, so the weekend is my time. So then that way we don't have to be head on a swivel on the weekend, like responding to comments and doing all that kind of stuff. And oftentimes brands want it when they're in the office so that they can review and like basically watch it as it does what it needs to do. And then we'll go live. After we go live, 24, 48 hours, they ask for insights. So we have to send screenshots of how many clicks did it get, how many likes did it get, how many comments did it get, what were you guys saying, did anybody DM you asking specific information. We have to screenshot all of that and send it to the brand, and that basically tells them if it went well, if we did numbers, if we sold product, and how that went, which then determines if they come back or not, which is why we ask you guys to support, because we have to send all of that stuff into them for them to determine if you were a success or a failure. And it goes both ways all the time, no matter how big of an influencer you are, you have campaigns that flop. So if you are another influencer, please know that you're not the only one who have campaigns, especially with the algorithm now. So if you have ad in the caption, they don't show it to as many people. And also, I don't know what it is with the world, but if people know something is an ad, they don't really support it as much, which is like, this is my job just as much as y'all's. And they feel like influencers should only be posting organic content no matter what. But ads always do worse than organic content for whatever reason.
So what are the pros and cons of batch shooting?
I think the pros are you get a lot done. I think the cons are it's a lot of work to batch shoot. And if you don't plan it properly, it's shown that that's not in real-time content. So I feel like for me, sometimes I have hair and makeup stay here because I want to be able to switch and do stuff. so that it doesn't look like it's the same day, because if it looks like you're shooting all your stuff in the same day, it's not as organic, and people don't feel like people like to feel like they're like with you and like, oh, she's doing that right now, like I know what she's doing. But sometimes organic content you can really see, I mean, sometimes batch shooting you can really see that it's all the same time, but also everybody does it now to be able to have boundaries and prioritize and do what they need to do. So I don't feel like it's as bad as it was before, because people know that people are doing it.
Do you think that inflation has affected influencers' revenue?
I think inflation has affected everybody's everything. I feel like, I mean, everything costs more to all of us. It's not just costing more to some people. So obviously that impacts what we have left over. But I do think brands are being a bit more specific and scarce with the money that they're giving out, the campaigns that they're having. Like during the pandemic, we was making bank. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. And it was because all people were doing was at home scrolling and shopping. And if they weren't, it was like all people were doing was looking at their phone. So like brands were like, oh yes. And people are doing nothing but scrolling, like, you know, send it out. But now I think they're being a bit more specific. Also because the influencer game is like I said, everybody wants to be one. Everybody's posting content. Everybody's, you know, doing whatever now. You gotta really bring it, and you gotta really be good, and you gotta really be able to convert for them to want to work with you. Like, you being cute and taking good photos is not it. You have to be able to convert and make sales. And have an audience that even can look at it. So like, you know, I don't know, you have to really bring it. Even, and it's a good thing also, because I feel like they don't just look at the number of followers anymore. I think before it was like, if you have a lot of followers, then you can get paid XYZ dollars. They're like, no, if you have 1 million followers and you only brought me 2 sales, then you're not doing it. But if you have 5K, 10K, and you brought, you know, half of your audience to actually buy product, you get paid more than the person with 1 million followers. So I feel like the numbers don't matter as much. It's, are you able to get the message across, and are you able to convert sales?
How do you get better at writing deep, engaging captions?
I have help. And I think for me, I've learned that I have to say things in the way that they're in my head, and in the way that I speak and convert. But I also have family and friends proof it, because I'm like, I write like I talk. So if this sounds stupid, let me know, or if I need to reword XYZ things, and that's really what I do. But I think being real is the best thing now, because people can tell when you're trying to sell them or when it's not real. I feel like nowadays it's really like, you really can't be a fraud. Like, it's noticeable, and you will get caught out. So I think for me, I kind of just jot down what's in my head and hope that it conveys, but I do have family and friends proof it to make sure what's in my head is making sense and translating to what I'm trying to say.
What do your admin days look like, and suggestions on apps or tools that you may use?
So between my internal team and our agency, we use Trello. This is how we manage all of the deals. Internally with just us, we also use Google Drive, and basically organize everything into folders. So organic reels, brand deals, whatever content or things that we need, photos to go with YouTube videos. For Dropbox, we dump all of our clips into one folder, and then Bree will then go and edit based off of what's in that folder. So Dropbox, Trello, Google Drive. What else do we use? That's it, right?
Yep.
That's pretty much it. Like, we have like our lives in Google Drive and in Trello and Dropbox. But admin wise, on those days, we'll just organize all the content that we shot. So orange look, or like blah 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 look, here are all the video clips. You know, I'll be like, Yon, can you write me a good caption that explains what we did in whatever time? Bree, here are all the footage from blah blah blah. These are the next YouTube videos. These are the next reels that are going live. This is what I have lined up brand deal wise. Shayma, can you confirm that these 3 things are going live next week? Ad wise, in between, I want to do organic so that we don't lose everybody's eyes, because like I said, with ads, people stop watching. And Instagram makes sure that you really gotta do it for it to be seen. So basically just organizing life, what's going live next on YouTube. Bree, do you need any additional clips for any of the stuff that we recorded? Oh, I need corresponding photos that go in this vlog from when you guys went to the family thing and did XYZ. So we kind of just get organized on the admin days. Where are we at brand deal wise, revenue wise? Does anybody need to send me an invoice? Can you make sure everyone knows what our schedule is for next week? That's what admin days look like here. So I hope this made sense to you guys. I hope this provided a little bit of insight into the influencer life / what the team looks like and how we get organized and do things. If you guys want more videos like this, let me know. I will do them more frequently if that's what you request. I don't want to just be doing them and y'all don't really care. But also if you have additional influencer related questions, drop them down and I'll add them to the next video, because if you guys want them once a week, we'll do them. If you guys want them once a month, we'll do them. Right now it's like every few months, but I don't mind answering because this is my life. So it's like, I don't mind answering y'all questions about what we do every single day. I love you guys. Make sure you guys are following on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Peace out.